Hello, guys. Hello, guys. It's a little after 1 p.m. here in Delaware, United States. How are you guys? Welcome to the live. Today is Sunday, January 26, 2025. Welcome to the live, guys. I hope you're having a good Sunday. Hope your day is going well. If your day is winding up, if you're in Kenya or other places that is not the US, I hope your day is going well. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm using this mic today, so I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know once you join in. Let me know if you can hear me. There was a time I was doing a recording with one of my guests, and I was using, I think I was just using the mic for the, I was using the mic for the MacBook, and she was saying like I'm sounding like I'm too far away. So for the three people that have just jumped on the live, welcome. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm using this mic. I was just saying that I'm using this mic. I hope that you can hear me. So I just need a little bit of confirmation that you can hear me before I proceed so that we can fix it if the sound quality, the audio quality is not good. So give me feedback. Today is January 26, 2025. It is a little bit after 1 o'clock here in Delaware, US. Welcome to the live, guys. Welcome to the live. So I had done a test before. I had done a test with this, what you call this thing, with this mic, and it was working. So I just wanted to know if you guys can hear me. Today, we are talking about navigating the American dream, issues facing African immigrants. My name is Lucy. Lucy Mwangi USA is the name of the channel. If you're new here, thank you, Mercy. Thank you for confirming. Thank you. I didn't want to talk to myself here the whole 30 minutes and then people start saying later on, Lucy Atukuski, you're talking to yourself. Thank you for confirming that. Thank you. Welcome to the live, guys. So, with the Trump administration, on the 23rd of January, I believe it was, they started this mass deportation. So, I wanted to talk about that and other issues that are affecting us as Africans or immigrants from different parts of the diaspora, right? So, from different parts of either Africa or wherever you are. So, where are you guys? How are you doing? What's going on in your state? If you're in these sanctuary states, what is going on there? If your state is not a sanctuary state, what's going on there too? Like, have you witnessed any deportation of illegal immigrants? Have you heard about it? Has anybody that you know been affected? How are you guys doing? I know this is life changing for a lot of people, and there's a lot of anxiety out there. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of just uncertainty. Can you imagine being here for so many years? No matter how you're here, that's not the point. But can you imagine being here for this long and then one day, unannounced, you're just deported because you're here illegally, no matter how long you've been here? The moral of this story is for people who are coming in from different parts of the world into the United States is do not overstay your visa. Don't overstay. And if you have to overstay, please extend your visa. Extend your status so that you don't fall into this predicament that you have established your life here and then suddenly, because there's changes in governance, you have to leave. And maybe you have children, you have families, right? People back home are depending on you. But then suddenly you have to be uprooted from this life and you have to go back home. And maybe you don't have those plans. You had not like set yourself up vizuri uko home for you to go back. It's a very, very sad state of affairs. And what we can learn from it is do not overstay your status. Even if you come here, let's say in a B1, B2 visa, ukikuja na B1, B2, you do what you have to do to get that visa extended, or ukwe legal, get married, find a job, get makaratasi through work, but get your papers right. Because sometimes we just get comfortable and we forget just because we have jobs and because we have this and that and the other, we are able to acquire these things. We forget that we are not here legally. And it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. So the moral of the story is, if you come to the US, no matter how you come, you come in, but then don't overstay your visa. Don't mess up your status. Don't mess up your status. Adjustment of status should be a priority for you when you get here, if your intention is to stay here in the US. And there are many ways that you can do that. Go to travel.state.gov, go to these state websites, figure out how you can adjust your status. USCIS.gov, all those sites, they can help you to see what you can do. But the most obvious ones, find somebody, get married, olewa, find a job, go to school. But even with the F1 visas, don't overstay them. And abide to the rules of each visa classification so that you're not found in this predicament. So what's going on, guys? What's going on in your states? What state are you from? Where are you watching from? And what's going on as far as this immigration thing is concerned? And by the way, did you guys hear? I think, I'm not sure if it was verified. I watched in one of the news channels and they said that was fake news. But last week, there was this rumor going on about if you snitch on someone for $750 for them to be deported, you'll get $750. Did you guys hear that? So ati Wakenya walikuwa wanapatiana huko because they were promised $750 per person that you snitch on. I didn't hear that. It wasn't anything here in Delaware I didn't hear. But I know there was something in the news about New Jersey, and New Jersey is one of our closest states, about people being deported from there. So ICE wako busy. ICE is the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They're very, very busy. So what I can say is, even if you have papers, regardless, just abide by the laws. Don't drink and drive. Usipatwe na DUI. If you're pulled over, just be on the right side of the law. Just be on the right side of the law. So don't put yourself in situations that will get you pulled over and stuff like that. Just follow the laws of the land. And yeah, ma DUI tuachane nazo. Tuachane nazo. Yeah. So let me know what's going on in your state as far as this immigration thing is concerned. What? So that's one of the biggest things that is going on right now in the US, is the mass deportation of illegal immigrants. Other things that we have to navigate as Africans in the diaspora, especially in America, is parenting. And I'm doing a series with my daughter. My daughter's name is Veronica. She was born here. She's 20. So make sure you join us on YouTube. There's a playlist called Parenting in America, Mother-Daughter series. So make sure you join us, because a lot of times as Africans, we tend to want to raise our kids the way we were raised, right? Because your mom raised you and your dad, if you had both families. And so that's the model that you know, right? So when you come here, you want to use the same model on your child, not remembering that you're in a different setting. You're in a different setting, it's a different age, it's a different generation. So, because of that, a lot of things have affected my relationship with my daughter and how she was raised and how she grew up. And now we're coming up and talking about those things. So, make sure you join us in our series, Parenting in America, Mother and Daughter series. What challenges do you guys face as parents? I know it's a language barrier. I know it's, for example, if you're married to somebody who's from here. So sometimes it could be you're married to a Kenyan or an African, and then you guys have your own set of problems being here. But if you're married to an American or a white person, that is a whole different can of worms. Sometimes you don't realize when you get yourself in these situations until later. So I got I think it was a comment the other day. It was a comment from someone. I had done a video myself and Joan Duty TV. We were talking about dating here in the US compared to dating in Kenya. And under that video, there's somebody that came on and he was talking about the black tax. So by so by the way, you know how we think about like sending money back home? So if you're married to like an African, so you guys can discuss about, okay, this month we are going to send this much, or this is what we are going to be sending back to help our people. That's what we do. But if you're married to like an American or a white person, watambui, or they don't know what that is, they don't care. So for you, I don't know how you guys are going to be able to work that out. Some people, some of them are understanding. They will understand that, okay, they will understand the helping of the family back home, but most of them don't. Most of them don't, because once the kid is 18, they're supposed to be out and fending for themselves. So they don't concentrate on helping their parents. And that's why most of the time they send their parents to the nursing homes, because people move on with their lives. You know what I mean? But as we keep we keep the circle of family tight, and we support each other over and over. And that is the expectation, that is the tradition. So in the issue of black tax, he was talking about how I think it was a she, and she was talking about how her family members came here and got married. They got married to a white person. So and they got married to a white person. So now they're struggling because they want to send money back home. But this person who is the one kanyagiering the account, they had a joint account. So they had the joint account. They have the joint account, and the wife is the one in charge of how this money is going to get to be spent. So alikuwa anakanyagia sana. She wasn't allowing him to take the money and send it back home. So back home wanakaa tu hivyo hivyo, so he wasn't able to, you know how we build houses for our parents and pay school fees for our siblings and whatnot. They were not able to do that because do zimekanyagiwa na wife. So after some time, I think another sibling came in and also got married to another white person. So for the longest time, this other person was able to send the money because there was no communication between this white person and the other white person. So, but when they went for family gatherings, they talked. They talked about this black tax, and then this other person started kanyagiering for this other one. So it's difficult. Relationships are tough. interracial relationships are even tougher here in the US, and those are some of the issues and the challenges that we face. And I'm not saying that it's worse than other relationships. I'm just saying it's just different. It's just different. The culture is different. The language, the food, how you want to raise your kids is different. And just raising the kids period here is very, 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 very challenging. So another thing that we have to face is when we come here, we have to start from scratch. For the most part, no matter what you are, maybe you are a doctor, whatever you are, when you come here, we are just equalized. We are equalized unless you came with some kind of visa that helps you transition straight from whatever you are doing to now a job here. Then you're just equalized. You have to do these low paying jobs, these very, very humbling jobs until you're able to climb up and elevate yourself. So that is very humbling for a lot of people. Some people can't cope with that. It's very depressing because when you think about it, ukiwa home, maybe you are making a lot of money or you are in a high position job. And then you come here and you have to do, and not belittling the CNA work, but I'm saying then you have to start there. For example, I'm not saying everybody starts there, but just assuming, for example. So that's very humbling. And some people cannot take it. They cannot take it. And so they just fall deep into depression. And then now you start going into this cycle of mental health issues and whatnot. So with isolation and being that here in the US, the social aspect of that is very limited, because sometimes you don't even know who your neighbor is. Unaamka asubuhi, people just go in their garages, they just lock themselves in their houses, and you rarely see people outside, especially in the winter, which is like right now. Right now, we are deep in the winter. Some people call it the hibernation period here in the US because it's really cold. Some people don't go out as often because it's just too damn cold. And then sometimes it's snowing, so that's a hindrance. Sometimes it snows so hard so that you are even told you can't go anywhere. Only if you are essential worker, like you work in the hospital or you're in the medical field or police or firefighters or stuff like that. So Africa, we don't have that. We don't have the weather is so severe to a point where schools are closed. Sijui nini nini. Talking about that, by the way, about schools being closed. So, and that's another challenge with parenting. So when there's bad weather, wanafunganga shule, they close the schools. So if your work schedule and whoever is helping you with the kids, maybe your husband or your wife or whoever is helping with that, or you usually take your kids to daycare if they're small, you can't. So now you have to call out work. You can't go if you don't have anybody to watch your kids, because you can't leave your kids in the house by themselves in the middle of winter. So you can't do that. So that affects also your work because you can't go to work. You have to call out and be with the kids. And sometimes they say there's a 2-hour delay. So if, let's say, you were supposed to be at work at 7, so that means if there's a 2-hour delay and the kids were supposed to be in school by 8, so the kids will be in school by 10. So utafika job saa ngapi? 11. So sometimes you're like, if there's a 2-hour delay, I'm already gonna be so late, and I don't want to start from 2 or 3 hours behind. So people just call out. So you're missing out on your time from work and your pay, for that matter, if you don't have paid time off. So different challenges, and these are just videos that we are making just to give people information about what happens when we come here to the US, because we have been accused, especially by African Americans. They are accusing us of coming here and bragging that we know better. We know better than them, and we go to school and we act like we are too smart, and then we start complaining about America because we didn't do our research. So a lot of sentiments are being expressed in the comment section for most of my videos by the African Americans about why didn't you guys ask us about the US before you came? We African Americans would have told you what it is to be here. So, because we didn't get that opportunity and we didn't even know that we needed to ask these questions back in the day, we are making these videos for you if you are in outside the US and you're planning to come to the US, so you can have real information. Some of this information, you will not find it in the websites. And even if you find it in the websites, you don't even know which website to go to get such kind of information. So that's one of the reasons that we are doing these videos on this channel, so you can know, so you can be well equipped, so you can have a clear picture of what to expect when you come to the United States. So I was talking to my daughter the other day about how the school system works. So you have to know that the school system is different. You know how in Kenya the school open in January and I think they stay open, and I think I don't know if it's changed, but when I was going to school we would go in January, and then I think tulikuwa tunafunga, we would close school in April to go for Easter holiday, and then we would go back. We would close school 3 times, and the last one was in December, and that's when you would graduate to the next class. We'll do the finals and you would graduate to the next class. But here, the school year starts in May. No, actually it ends in May, June, but it starts in September. So me, I was confused. It took me a while to figure it out, but now I'm good. I know the school system is different because our kids look different. I know they are Black, but they are not really African American. They're just African. And for me, my daughter is half Kenyan and half African American, but for the most part, she's more African American because she was born here and she was raised here for all her life. So the discrimination part in school and her feeling different. So you have to be prepared for things like that, depending on where you're going to take your kids, which kind of school. Because my daughter went to a mostly like 99% white school. So us, we're thinking that we're doing our kids a favor when we take them to these all white schools, because maybe we are setting them up for a better or higher quality of life later. But we failed to focus on them as an individual and how different they will be treated, how differently they'll be treated, and how are they going to cope with that. So for the most part, as parents, we need to also, while we are focusing on their academics, let's focus on giving them emotional support and being there for them as they're growing up and through different phases of life, and letting them know that they are enough, they're okay the way they are, they're beautiful. No matter how different they look, they are okay the way they are. So work-life balance is another challenge that we face. Work-life balance. So for example, me, I'm a single mom. So single mom household, and the way the US is nowadays, it feels like you need 2 incomes to sustain a household. So the struggles become, how do you sustain this household and you're by yourself with this 1 income? And how do you maintain your parenthood? You still want to be there for your children. So you are the parent and you're the breadwinner. Here they call it, when you're doing your taxes, they say head of household. So you're the head of household. And if you have many children, then that becomes even more difficult for you. So the challenge becomes, how do you balance that? Because you want to go to work so that you can make this money, so that you can, make this money, pay these bills, pay for this, pay for that, be there for your kid, and especially when the kids are little. When the kids are small, it is so difficult. I remember when I was married. I was married then. So I can't imagine how it would have been if I was single. I was married. My daughter was little, so I had this babysitter next door, thank God. And I was going to school for my nursing school for LPN at that time. So my daughter is like so small. Here I am in the winter, just bundling her up. She's like 2 months at that time. She was 2 months old, bundling her up in these little clothes and then putting her in the car seat, this car seat or whatever basket that we used to put her in, and then taking her to my neighbor in the morning, like at 6:30 in the morning, knocking on the door, dropping her off with all the bags, with the food and all that. And then sometimes driving in the snow to New Jersey to school. Man, and then I had this old car. I had this old car. It was my first car. So here I am driving that little old car and praying, like crossing my fingers the whole time. I'm like, I hope this car doesn't break down because I don't even know people. I don't know people. I don't have people to call. I can only call my husband, but maybe by that time he had already left for work. Such challenges. And by that time, I didn't even know about AAA. AAA, the roadside assistance people that you sign up. I think you pay $70 a year. And if you are stuck on the road, they can come and help you out. That is a lifesaver for me, by the way. I always have it. Even if I have a new car, I have AAA. So anyway, so those are some of the challenges. And then after school, so you're studying, but then you want your grades to be up. You have all these stresses. I remember, man, when I was in school, I used to cry all the time. Because you're like, how do I deal with this? Because you know why you're going to school, right? You know you want to go to school because at that time I was a CNA working every weekend. So I'm working every weekend. I have a small baby. I have to improve my life by going to school. The school takes about 2 years, right? So within these 2 years, I have to sacrifice. So you know that you have to do these things, but these things are so difficult, but you have to do them. So every day you're just driving to school and you're crying. You get to school, you're like, oh my God. So now I have to deal with these assignments. And nursing school is not easy. So you're like, okay, now I have to deal with these assignments. And then when I get home, the baby is small. I have to study. I have to take care of the kid. But you fight through it because we are resilient. We are resilient. And sometimes that gets confused as we are bragging. So when the other people in the classroom see you as an older person in the classroom, busting your ass and getting all these A's, and they're wondering how you do it. And they think that you're just showing off and you're bragging. But it's because you don't have a choice and failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. So you bust your behind and you do what you need to do to get to where you need to go. To get to where you need to go. And so when you go through all those things, just remember and just circling back to having your proper documentation. Remember as you're going through all that to get your documentation right so that you can be here legally, because you don't want to do all that. And then one day Trump says you have to leave because you don't have the right documentation. And yet you have suffered through, you've gone through the ringers, you've done this, you've done that so that you can improve your life. So be sure you have your documentation right. Make that a priority so that all that will not be in vain. So I hope you guys are listening, the ones that are in, especially Kenya. Kenya is my country, so mostly I'm biased. And I talk directly to Kenyans. You want to come to the US, come through the right channels, right? Use the annual DV lottery process. Take advantage of that, because that one is the one that you can do at least for free to apply. Okay. So once you apply, then just sit back and wait. If you win, then you'll deal with the process later. That's what I usually say. You'll deal with the monies, do your medicals, do your flights. But at that time, you will have the green card offer there already. You've won. So that is one of the best ways to come to the US. Because once you get the green card, and I know it can be expensive, especially for families, right? If you have 5 families, there's somebody who sent me an email and wanted to know, I think they said they'll be coming either to Delaware or to some state near my state. And they were like, what should I do with my family, because it's very expensive? So there are options for that. To me, in my opinion, there's 2 options. You can apply for yourself to come here and start working. Once you start working, because with a green card, you can start working almost immediately. Once you get in, you're stamped, and you process your green card, you get your social security number and all. And those processes are quick for green card winners, the lottery, DV lottery winners. So once you do that, then you can just bust your behind and work your ass off. You have 6 months to go get them. In Kenya, or here in the US, 6 months, depending on what kind of job. If you have no bills, 6 months, you can accumulate a good chunk of money and you can go and get them. You can go back and get them. The other alternative is, if you guys are okay, if you have money, even if you have to borrow some money, borrow kuja. When you come here, you and your wife bust it out and work and pay off that debt, and then start living your life here. And I know it's challenging. The first few years are very, very, very frustrating, especially if you're single. Guy, let me tell you, when I first came, I had a boyfriend. I had a boyfriend back home. So me here, I'm thinking that, I'm just going to come here for 2 years and then I'll work. I don't even know what I thought. I had no information. Yani, lack of information is just the worst. I had no information. So here I am thinking about, okay, so I have this relationship back home. It feels like maybe we are going to get married. Where? I came and I found out that whatever perception that I had of the US was shut down. It wasn't nothing like that. So whatever plans that I had, those plans were gone. So I had to restructure my steps. So the loneliness ile inakuchapa hapa, the first month, every day you're crying, you want to just go back. You want to just go back. It's just the family isolation, the separation from family, the fact that you have to start over, the fact that ujui mtu huku, they are saying you need a car gani. Me, I didn't have a car back home. I didn't have a car because I didn't need one. But I was practicing how to drive. There was a guy, I used to live huko in Isili, Ushirika Estate, huko karibu na Garissa Lodge. I went to Kenya the other day and and I went around there. It may grow, it has changed. But there was a guy who used to have a taxi service. Alikuwa na taxi hapo. He used to have a cab. His name, I think, was Shege. And he used to pick me up, like, so on days when maybe I'm late for work, I would take a cab. So I went and took a driver's ed. Nikaenda driving school. I got my driver's license. And Shege used to allow me to drive his car to work. So instead of him driving, he would be like my co-driver. And I would drive myself to work. So that's the most that I drove. I drove in Kenya, and then I came here. So when I came here, I had to retake the class, right? everybody has to retake. You have to retake the written test, which I failed. I failed. I failed because the first time I failed because sorry, I didn't know that I can skip questions. Like if you don't know a question, by the way, guys, if you don't know the question, skip and go to the next one and see whether you know the other one, because I think there is a maximum that you have to get correct before you are timed out. It's timed. I don't know whether it's still the same. Is it still the same, guys? I don't know if it's still the same, but I failed because I was dwelling on this question. I was dwelling on it and then I panicked. You know how when you're doing tests, you see the question and you think you know the answer, but you don't know, and you're trying to get the information from the back of your back burner, uko, kwa drives the brain, and you can't. So I wasted so much time there. I didn't know I could skip. I didn't skip. I got timed out. I failed. I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was frustrated because my host was pregnant and she was about to have a baby. And she was also a student. So she was saving, she was hoping that I would pass so I don't have to ask her to do things for me anymore. So now that was extended. I had to come back and retake the test. But this time I retook the test after I think a few days. I don't know, they give you a date. Then I went back, took the written test again, passed, and then took the Ilaya road test. I went back and took the road test. So that's another thing that you need to know that you have to do, depending on the state that you're going to. Just know that you need to know how to drive. So the recommendation is usually if you can do the driving back home, kuwa na driver's license, go to a driving school if you can afford it, and if you're able to do that, that would cut off a lot of the time and the need to have somebody teach you how to drive. Itakuwa a shorter period because you already know how to drive. It's just that you just need to know the roads the US and that we keep right and you guys keep left. So hizo ndio challenges iko mob. It's a lot of challenges, a lot that goes on that you have to know. And ignorance is not defense. The fact that you don't know something does not exclude you from suffering the consequences. The fact that you don't know something does not exclude you from suffering the consequences. So you'll still be held responsible. Drinking and driving, a lot of Kenyans, tunajijua, we drink a lot. We go to parties, we drink and drink and drink, and then we drive. We are on these roads just doing the most. So with this new government, just be aware, and not just with the new government, just be aware that you're risking your life and you're risking the life of others on the roads, even for your own safety. Don't drink and drive. Ukipuliwa over DUI, it doesn't look good on you. It doesn't look good on you, and you want to avoid such. You want to avoid being pulled over. I don't want to be pulled over. I don't want to deal with cops. I don't. So just abide by the laws of the land, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. The other thing is taking care of our mental health as Kenyans, as Africans. We don't do that. We don't do that. We work. We take care of everybody else. We forget to take care of ourselves. So I would like for us to normalize talking about the fact that we are not okay. And it's okay not to be okay, but talk about it. Don't bottle everything in. And then before you know it, tunarudisha mwili Kenya. It's becoming more and more rampant now that ukifungua tu WhatsApp, when you open WhatsApp, you're invited for all these kind of groups. And why is it happening? Too much pressure, too much stress, people not taking care of their mental health. Let's remember to take care of ourselves, because if you're not okay, how are you going to help other people? If you're not okay, how are you going to help other people? And if you've noticed on my channel, I'm very, very vocal nowadays about just being real. Just being real. I mean, there's no need of faking life, faking life so that you can please who? I don't know who we are trying to please. Me, when I came here, I came by myself. Most of us came by themselves. Tulikuja peke yetu. So you came by yourself, so take care of yourself. You don't owe anybody anything. If things are not okay, look for help, seek help. Speak out. Speak out. Let's not try to please people, and let's not be afraid of being stigmatized. Don't worry about what people are going to say, because whether you succeed or you don't succeed, people are going to talk. Because if you succeed, like let's say, for example, right now, then I've been talking about I'm broke the whole time. And by miracles or God's grace, I blow up and I'm rich now next year. Hata mwezi nipata juu ya ile do niko nayo. Then people will start talking. People will start talking, because they will be like, oh, sijui maybe alipata mtu or this or that. And they will not see that it's because maybe I've dedicated 2025 for my self-preservation and improvement, and I'm going to do everything that I can to live a better life and not to live on autopilot every day, doing the same shit over and over and getting the same results. So people will talk regardless of what. So do you take care of yourself mentally. If you're not okay, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. So I didn't expect this to be that was not the plan. The plan was not for me to come out here and rant about life. It was just to let you guys know the kind of struggles that we go through, because people are saying, oh, you guys are not talking about the real America. You're just telling us to come there, but then you're not telling us the truth. All you guys on these YouTube channels, you have all these platforms, but you're just sugarcoating things. So no more sugar, no more sugarcoating. A lot of us are now coming out and saying it's okay to come and say that we are not 100% okay. Things are not always how they seem. But then there's a quote that my daughter, I think she sent it to me. She's got it from somewhere. It says, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, then it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, then it's not the end. So we keep pushing, Ama. We keep pushing. We keep pushing. Don't be afraid to speak up. So people are like, okay, you are an RN, and all these comments about RNs are making 200,000 a year. Why are you just whining here, talking about you don't have any money, and why is your background looking like you are in a mansion? Yes, I'm in a mansion or whatever the heck this is. But that does not negate the fact that I am still living paycheck to paycheck. That is like the worst thing. The worst thing for us now here in the US is not like we are not saying we are not getting paid. We are getting paid. But what are we doing with the money? How is the money being distributed? It's going to so many places, and the cost of living is so high. And I know people are saying, okay, then minimize your expenditure, which I'm doing. But the money and the cost of living ziko hapa na hapa, so that by the time you get paid, you're like trying to chambua all the paycheck and assigning the dollars in different places, so that by the time you're done, you're like, what? Sina hata 50 bob ya kuweka kwa savings. You know what I mean? And if I'm lying, kujeni hapa mseme. Kujeni hapa mseme. Things have like really changed, that you need many sources, extra sources of income. I was okay. I have never needed an extra job until recently. I had never needed another source of income. I was okay with whatever I was getting. I was able to manage. But it looks like now we need more income. We need more streams of income. And that's okay, because now we have the realization. And so we have to do what we have to do. So don't be afraid of people talking about you, because they will talk and then watanyamaza baadaye ukishalala, right? Watanyamaza usiku ukiingia. Living paycheck to paycheck is a thing. So we are encouraging, and we are being encouraged by other people in the comment section to just manage our money better, make better life choices. And I wanted to mention something about picking your life partner. Picking your life partner, the person that you're going to share your life, your bed, your resources with. That is a very, very important aspect in this financial freedom process, because your partner can make you or break you financially. Facts, aki na hiyo ni ukweli. Your partner can make you or break you financially. So choose wisely. Choose wisely, because you're stuck with this person, especially if you get married to that person. It's a different thing. Ile come we stay and we're just sharing the bills. That's different. But if you're going to live with this person and you're signing all these papers and you're involved in which money and in which investments and in this and that and the other, and you're not on the same page, it will come to bite you in the butt later. It will come to bite you later. So pick your partners wisely, the people you're sharing your lives with, because then that also goes into your children. So if you decide to have children with this person, then it boils down to how are you going to raise your kids. You need to be on the same page. And I know in marriages and relationships, we can't always be on the same page, but at least more than half of the time, kueni on the same page. Because when the bigger things that matter, when they come to play, you want to be on the same page with your partner. You don't want to be going like this when it's like some critical things going on that need you to be together. You know what I mean? So that's my life lessons. You live and you learn. You live in this US. Life inakuchapa kiboko mpaka unaamka. Unaamka, you are awakened. And for some people, the awakening comes later in life, but it's never too late. So if you still have the opportunity, you still have the time, this is your first year, second year, third year in the US, you're still trying to get your shit together, then get your shit together before it's too late. Before it's too late. Take care of yourself. Be your number one priority when you come to the US. Be your number one priority. Have a plan. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve here in this United States of America? Curate your own American dream, because as we have found out, American dream is an illusion. So come to the US, get what you need to get out of it, get the opportunities or the resources. You can do a lot here. So utilize that and do what you need to do for yourself. Okay? Prioritize yourself. If you have children, it's you and your children. For the first few years when you get here, you have to build yourself. Build yourself. Otherwise, you'll be sending money every day. And then when you look at your send wave, or what's the other one? Tap, send. You've almost spent $60,000. And yet you can't even afford things for yourself here. So establish yourself so that you're in a position to pour to others, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So very, very, very many life lessons. And I'm using my channel to just share. And I know sometimes we say experience is the best teacher. Okay. But if I can learn something from someone who has already gone through it, I don't want to go through that fire. Why should I go through the fire to get burnt if somebody already passed by it and said, "Wa usipitia hapo utachomeka"? You know, why should I go through that? So those are some of the challenges. Guys, wherever states you are you in a sanctuary state? If you're in the US, what's going on? in your state as far as the mass deportation of illegal immigrants is concerned? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section what's going on. I hope guys mko safe wherever you are. I hope you guys are safe. Let me go to your comments. Nimeongea. Masi Nyakeriga. Hi, Lucy. I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Mercy. Chikilat K9. Chikilat K9. Is that how you say your name? Because I think I've missaid it before somewhere. Background is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't want to go downstairs today in the basement. It's so cold down there. And I usually tend to be like really, really cold. Abu Bakar. So, hello, Madame Lucy, watching you right now from Banjul, the Gambia. Thank you very much. Thank you for the wonderful topic. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Very important to inform us about the reality. It's true. It's true, man, because a lot of people are afraid maybe to say the truth for whatever reason or the other. But I think when you have the truth, you'll be well equipped and you'll have a plan. You'll make a plan and you'll know how to move forward. Well said by your daughter. Yeah, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, then it's not the end. Haran Safi, hello, Madame Lucy, watching you from Ethiopia. Bal Guinea or Bel Guinea? Okay, thank you for watching. Hilary Courage, thank you for your information. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Habari gani KR? Mi niko poa. Today is Sunday. Mi niko poa. Great topic. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for watching. I will try to come on live every Sunday afternoon at 1. So if you're able to join me for the lives, you can do that. Make sure you follow me on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm also on Facebook, Lucy Mwangi, USA. If you have any topics that you would want me to discuss, you can let me know. My email is lucymwangiusa@gmail.com. And I also have my daughter with me doing a series about parenting in the US. So make sure you check out that playlist on my YouTube channel. It's called Parenting in the US Mother-Daughter Series. So if you guys don't have any questions, I hope that you have gained something. I hope that you have benefited. Make sure you're using this official US website to get yourself informed and stay up to date, especially with the new Trump administration, so that we can know what's going on, because he keeps changing his mind about stuff. So let's keep ourselves informed. uscis.gov, travel.state.gov, Homeland Security, know what ICE is doing, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Stay informed so that you don't get caught off guard. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. It's almost 1 hour. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to end the live, and I'll see you in my other videos that I'm going to be recording after this. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good evening and a good afternoon.